If you were following us, or if you have followed us in the spanning tree videos, one of the first examples we used was having two switches connected directly, and for redundancy and future needs we extended another cable, okay, or maybe because 100 megabit is not enough, and these two devices, maybe they are 2960 platform, both of them, and their model doesn't support adding a gigabit ethernet card. Okay, so I must only use fast ethernet interfaces in these two devices, which gives me only 100 megabit per second for each interface. And in case that interface got full and it started to make some congestion in my network, then I will add another interface or extend another cable between them, but spanning tree will disable one of them just to avoid the layer 2 loop. This is the disaster of layer 2 devices, which are switches. Okay, so what if the bandwidth of an interface wasn't enough? Then I will need to add another interface. We need a bigger bandwidth, but resilient, not fixed. I will talk about this when we explain LACP. Okay, so this adding another interface haven't solved the big problem of the bandwidth lag. So what happened is that the link aggregation control protocol LACP, which is an open standard protocol of aggregation, it's an open standard aggregation protocol. It showed up after the PAG-P. This is the port aggregation protocol. This was a Cisco proprietary. Okay, Cisco invented this between their devices only. After that, the LACP came in. In the previous CCNA, you were asked to know PAG-P and LACP. In the new CCNA, PAG-P was removed. So I think Cisco is only using LACP right now in its devices, in the new generation of its devices. LACP is a new protocol that will take these two interfaces and virtually consider them as a single interface, single new interface, and a single cable that has the capacity of 200 megabit per second. So when you check show interfaces status, you will see one new interface that has a bandwidth of 200 megabit per second. Okay, this is what LACP does. The LACP can aggregate or bundle, join, or merge multiple interfaces into a single, new virtual interface. This is done by firstly by some negotiation. But once you initiate LACP on both sides, some negotiation will happen between both of them so that they know which interface should I bundle, two interfaces should I bundle from these two sides, and which two interfaces should I bundle from these two sides, in order to make them behave like a single one, or maybe three interfaces just like you are seeing in here are bundled together to give me a 300 megabit per second new interface. Okay, so using the LACP protocol, some negotiation will happen. These negotiations includes something very important, that the LACP protocol use the port status or the port role. If you remember, in spanning tree you had something called port role. This port is designated, this port is alternative. Okay, so you know that the alternative will not be used, it's blocked, and the forwarding interface or the designated interface is forwarding traffic. Okay, in LACP, also in PACP previously, but in LACP you have also something called port role, but this is not automatic, this is manual, you must configure it by yourself. So your port role is either to be an active port or a passive port. The problem is that the active port, once you make one of these two interfaces, only one of them, these two, or these two, make it active, these interfaces will then initiate the LACP negotiation to the other interface. Okay, so just by making this one or this one as an active interface, so this will lead to initiating the LACP negotiation to the other one. If LACP was configured here also, it will answer to the first one. Yes, LACP is configured. Let's make a bundle between two of us and create a new interface. Okay, but if you configured your interface as passive, passive will only open its ears for listening. It will never say anything. It will not start negotiating with anyone. Okay, it will receive negotiation. Okay, it will welcome you if you knock the door, but it will never start any action. So if you made this interface or these interfaces here passive, then the other interfaces must be active. Must be, that is a must. Okay, so at least one of the two sides must be active. Only one. If you made both of them active, no problem. Let both of them talk and negotiate. Let them have their social life, no problem. Okay, but one of them must be at least active. If two of them are passive, they will be like two husband and wife which had a fight, and each one is sitting in a corner, and they will never talk to each other. Okay, they will never talk to each other. So I'm sorry for this problem in electricity. We will just finish in a few moments. Okay, so both layer 1, I'm sorry, both layer 2 and layer 3 switch, both layer 2 switches and layer 3 routers do the bundle. So in the lab we will talk more about the layer 2 and layer 3. Okay, so I will finish the video for now, and we will jump to the lab in the upcoming video. Okay, sorry again for this electrical problem. Thank you for watching. Okay, so in the lab section, what we will do, we will use first these switches. We will also use routers. Okay, but first we will use switches, since it's the network access chapter. So in the network devices switches, let's use our two switches in here. Okay, I will, yes, two switches, these two switches will do good. Okay, and I will use my first connection between both of them, add another connection in the future. Okay, you know that spanning tree and what it will do. These, okay, just make it this way. Hope the two interfaces name are clear, because they are fast Ethernet 0102 and fast Ethernet 0102. So please some fast forward, another fast forward. That's enough. Okay, so I know, because spanning tree is blocking this interface, I want to avoid the behavior of spanning tree and make this 200 megabits per second useful. Okay, so on my first device I will use CLI, so you know that I'm in the user mode. Enable, after that configure terminal, to enter the configure menu. Okay, so I'm sorry, in the CDP and LLDP chapter in the video we used the interface range command. In case you didn't watch it, this is an interface command that will allow me to configure something or some command on more than an interface in one single command. Okay, so maybe if I want to shut down 5 commands, I don't have to enter the first interface and do a shutdown exit, the second interface shutdown exit, and the fourth. I can just select multiple interfaces, like from, they must be consecutive, and it depends on your software version. Some accept, some other software versions doesn't accept that. Okay, but I can select maybe from fast Ethernet 01 up to 5 Ethernet 05 and do the shutdown in a single command. All of them will be shut down. But in LACP, in the bundle or aggregate protocols, you must use the range. Okay, it's not optional, you need to use the range in order to make it. Or in some new versions of the new routers of Cisco, I have seen some commands that you can do it individually for each interface. But for you to practice CCNA, use the interface range command. Okay, so the interface range command will be interfaces range fast Ethernet. I want to bundle pass it 0 1 and 0 2, so the slot number which is 0 is common between them, but the port number is different, so I will type 0/1 and 2. This way it must be written or typed in this way. Hit enter. Now you are in the config if range. What I will do is that I will create the, let's drag this down and make it wider so all the command will be displayed clearly. Okay, I will create the port channel. By the way, the new interface will be called a port channel interface. Okay, the new virtual interface that has the bandwidth of 200 megabit per second. So channel group, I believe, still doesn't support auto. Okay, so channel dash group, hit the question mark. Now I need to specify a group number. This is exactly the same of the real physical interface. You have a physical interface with the name of fast ethernet 0-1 and fast ethernet 0-2. So when you will create your new interface, I need my pen. Okay, so when you will create your new interface, this virtual interface in here that has the speed of 200 megabit, okay, this interface must has a name, and this name comes from the word port channel. Okay, and its shortcut is PO. So whenever you hit show interface status, you will see a lot of fast ethernet interfaces. Sometimes you might find gigabit interfaces. At the bottom you will find some port channel interfaces. These are the bundle ports. Okay, so it's the PO. So to do that, we'll we have to assign a number because it's PO1, PO2, PO3 up to PO6 in this version. Some other versions are a lot more, maybe hundreds or tens of POs. Okay, so just like you have a fast Ethernet with a number, which is the port ID, also port channel interface must have a port ID. So I will hit 1 space question mark. Can I hit enter? No, I must specify the mode, which is the port roles. You remember the active or passive. So mode, and now question mark please. I have 5 options. It's either to be active, which is of LACP, the one that will start negotiation, the social one. Auto, it's for PACP only, never use it. Desirable is for PACP, never use it. On is to enable just an ether channel without negotiation. Okay, this will not be useful for us, no negotiation will happen. Or passive, you know, passive, that will not give you a negotiation also. So the only affordable one, I'm sorry, the only efficient one will be the active. So I will type active and hit the question mark. Now I can no longer add any more options. That's enough. I'm creating channel group, which is the port channel number. ID port, the port ID is 1, and I will make it active. Okay, so hit enter. Now these two interfaces will go shut it down, and after that they will shut up. Okay, I'm sorry, they will run up or operate as the new interface. Okay, as a new interface. So fast ethernet 0 went down and up as the new PO. Fast ethernet 02 went down and up as the new interface. So let's hit enter. Before that, read this, creating a port channel interface, which is PO1. Okay, so hit enter. Okay, I do not need any more config in here. So exit, another exit. Now it's back green. Show interfaces status. Okay, where is it? Where is it, please? Yes, it's the first one. It's PO1, but it's not connected. Why? Because in here no one has any idea what is PO and why it is sending LACP negotiation. Okay, this switch is not configured for LACP. Why does this switch, because it has the role of active, is starting to send us some LACP negotiation? Okay, so let's go in here and fix this. CLI, so enable configure terminal, also interfaces range fast ethernet 0-1 and 2. Okay, channel group, I must type it all of them. I don't know when will Cisco fix this. Okay, you can make it 1, 2, 3, whatever. It's a port ID. Like, just like the physical ports, you can connect fast Ethernet 1 to fast Ethernet 15. Okay, now you can, I'm sorry, connect PO1 to PO5. No problem. So we will make it also PO1 because it's the same thing. But for the mode, I can make it either active or passive. The first one was active, it's negotiating, so let's make this one as passive. You can do whatever you like. Okay, all of them are down and up again, creating PO port channel 1. Just check it, everything is down right now. Okay, so I will wait for my negotiation to be completed. Enter, show interfaces status. Please, the first one. The PO now is connected. It has a VLAN, duplex, speed, just normal one. It doesn't tell the type because it's not a real port. Okay, it's space. Let's wait for it. Okay, so now everything is done. So how to check my port channels? Okay, see that no more amber ports, no more blocked or standby ports, because no need for a spanning tree, no loop will occur now. So let's check show ether channel question mark summary. Let's check this summary. Okay, what I have, group number 1, which has the name of port channel 1. This S and U refers to two things. The first one is that the S, no, this is S small, the S capital, this is a layer 2 port channel, and the U, it's in use right now, it's in use, it's not disabled. Okay, the protocol used LACP, and the interfaces, the actual physical interfaces that lies within this port channel are fast Ethernet 01, 02. Also, what does the P refers to? It refers that it is in a port channel. It's used in a port channel. Okay, so these are the negotiations done and completed on both switches. Now I'm using both of them. The difference in routers will be, let's install maybe ISR 4321 and another ISR 4321. Okay, now you will notice when I connect these two, these red ports will remain red forever because routers come with disabled interfaces that I must enable them manually. Okay, so this one, it it's powered on. Okay, zoom in, it's powered on. We have the green LED in here, if it was clear to you. Okay, so we go to the CLI. Yes, it's powered on, we can see this. Make this very wide, get it to the up. Please take out this mess. Okay, now whenever you see the yes and no for initial config, type no, hit enter, enable. Let's do this in the same way. Configure terminal interfaces range. Their names are gigabit ethernet 001, 000, and 001. So gigabit ethernet 0/0/0 and 1. First of all, shutdown, no, make shutdown, no shutdown in the last one. So let's do a channel group. Okay, good. It supports automatic completion and specify number. You can see it's up to 64, maybe number 1, no problem. And no mode, there is no active and passive. Active and passive are for LACP. LACP is for layer 2 only. On layer 3 it's very normal, you can just do it because there is no broadcast message flooding in layer 3. There will be no loop. Okay, so if I enabled both of them, there will be no amber LED at all. Okay, because no spanning tree is happening in layer 3. But if I want them to be bundled, okay, in a new port channel of 2, this will happen of 2 gigabit speed. Okay, it will be 2000 megabit per second of speed. Okay, I can just do a channel group 1 and hit enter. This is the first thing. Channel group 1 does not exist in the config. Okay, so let me then make use of my place by no shutdown, exit. Okay, after that let's create channel group 1. No interface, please interface port channel number 1, enter. Now up arrow for 4 times, 5, interface range gigabit ethernet 000 and 1, channel group 1. Now it's accepted. Okay, let's end this. Show, I believe it's also ether channel, no, then show port channel, no, show channel, no, please, then show interface IP, interface brief, this is it, PO1, and it's down and down. It's not administratively down because we did the no shut command, but it's down on both sides because this interface and this router is still down. So go jump to the next router. We'll do everything the same again. CLI no, please, enable, configure terminal, create port channel 1 also in here. Okay, exit. Now interfaces range gigabit ethernet 0/0/0 and 1, please, channel group 1, enter. Okay, and finally to unshut these two interfaces, yes, you see how fast they are, no maximum age on negotiation in routers, so immediately they will become up. So now show IP interface brief, this command will show me my port channel is up and running and it has these two ports. And there is another command, show interfaces port channel 1. This is very useful because it will say that port channel 1 is up, the opposite side is up, the hardware is an ether channel with this MAC address, these are some physical specifications of it. It's working in the half duplex but has about 2000 megabit per second of speed. Okay, so these are the informations that I wanted to see. These are all extra detailed informations of this interface. Okay, so this is the difference between the layer 2 and layer 3 bundling or aggregating. Okay, and we have talked about LACP, we have talked about bundling, aggregating, again same issue. Okay, so really sorry for this. This is the state of Iraq. Okay, so this by far the fifth subchapter, the fifth subject we have talked about in chapter 2, and this will be the end of chapter 2. Okay, so if you have watched this series all from the starting, then you will notice the big difference between chapter 1, which has dozens of videos, it was 20 videos, 7 hours of recording and talking. Okay, in chapter 2 it was really simple, lightweight. Okay, this is the end of chapter 2. For anything about chapter 2, like and comment, please subscribe our channel and comment below in the video for anything you would like to. It will be, I will be glad to answer it and solve it. The next video we will start with chapter 3, which will be everything about routers and their technologies after we have finished switches and their technologies. Okay, so I hope all of this was informative for you. I'm really sorry again for these electric problems because it didn't really affect the procedure. Okay, just affecting me showing in the camera. I must be showing in the camera. Okay, so thank you again for watching and we will see you soon in the upcoming video. Goodbye.